My name is Tyler Monroe, and I never thought I'd become the kind of person who'd go to war with my neighbors. I was the laid-back guy, the one who waved at kids on bikes, helped push trash cans back to the curb on windy days, paid my dues on time, and mowed my lawn every weekend. I bought my house in Rolling Pines 5 years ago. It was a quiet, pleasant neighborhood with rows of white-trimmed homes, maple trees lining the sidewalks, and a small playground for the kids. The homeowners association was annoying, sure, but I figured it was the price of living in a decent place. At first, the HOA didn't bother me much. I play by the rules, and they mostly left me alone. I'm a mechanic by trade, run my own mobile repair service, and in my off hours, I like to work on old trucks in my garage. That's where it all started. I picked up a 1970 F100 a couple years ago. Rusty, dented, but still running. It was my project, my stress relief. On the weekends, I'd open the garage door, put on some music, and tinker for hours. Apparently, that was unacceptable. One day I got a letter taped to my front door with the HOA stiff letterhead, unauthorized mechanical work on premises. I stood there in disbelief. Mechanical work in my own garage. That was my right. I ignored the letter, figuring it was just a misunderstanding. But then another came, harsher this time, threatening fines. They said my activities violated community standards and created an eyesore. I tried to reason with them. I called the HOA president, a sour-faced man named Leonard Kramer, who treated the block like his personal kingdom. Look, I explained, I'm not running a business from my garage. This is just my personal hobby. Leonard wouldn't budge. He told me there was zero tolerance for automotive repair, even personal. It didn't matter if I was just replacing an alternator on my own truck. I couldn't believe it, so I kept working. I figured, I own my house. I pay my taxes. No one is going to tell me what I can do in my own garage. That was the mistake, I guess. I came home from a job one Wednesday afternoon and saw my garage door halfway open, which was strange, because I always closed it before leaving. When I stepped inside, my gut dropped. My tool chest had been rifled through, bolts and parts scattered everywhere. My floor jack flipped over. I spun around and saw the neighbor across the street, Emily, standing on her porch with a phone in her hand. She looked nervous. I went over there. Emily, did you see anyone? I asked. Her eyes darted away. Then she swallowed hard and said, Tyler, the HOA came in while you were gone. They had a locksmith. I stared at her, trying to process. They broke into my garage. I asked, voice shaking. She nodded, embarrassed. They said they had the right to inspect for community violations. I didn't know what to do. My heart pounded so hard I thought I might black out. They'd gone through my private property, my tools, my memories, my project. No notice, no warrant, nothing. That was the day everything changed. I tried to talk to Leonard again, but he wouldn't even come to the door. He sent me an email instead, as per Section 14 of the HOA bylaws. The association reserves the right to enter any premises for investigation of violations. Investigation? They'd ransacked my garage like a bunch of street thugs. I called the cops, but they said, technically, since it was written into the HOA bylaws, there was little they could do. It was civil. Civil. Breaking into someone's private workshop was civil. That night, I couldn't sleep. They'd crossed a line. I went down to the garage and looked at the old F100. Its hood was still open, tools scattered, bolts missing. My hands shook. I'd worked on that truck with my dad before he passed away. It was more than a truck. It was memories, time, love, and they had stomped all over it. I decided right then, they were done. The next morning I met with my lawyer, a tough-as-nails woman named Dana Rossi. I showed her the emails, the notices, the photos of the damage.